What's up, kings and queens? It's your girl, Essentially K. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, what's good? Alright, y'all, so as I mentioned a few weeks ago, I'm going to start adding in more story time videos because I realized that some of my story time videos are like my highest viewed videos, and I've gotten some feedback and I heard that you guys want to hear some of my stories, some of the things that I be going through, y'all, okay? So today I'm going to be doing a story time, and as you can tell by the title, it gets crazy, okay? But before we get into the story, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, tap the notification bell so that you don't miss any weekly uploads. Also, if you don't mind, please give this video a big thumbs up, hit that like button down below because it helps me out a lot, and it also lets me know that you like the content that I'm putting out. I don't want to put out stuff that y'all don't want to see, so you know, talk to me, hit that like button, leave a comment, tell me I don't like this topic, tell me I love it, tell me, you know, dive a little deeper into this topic. Just let me know. It's a conversation. It's never just me talking to y'all, okay? All right, so moving right along, y'all. So today I want to talk about one, and I say one because I've had a couple of stalker experiences, but I want to talk about one of my stalker experiences, which turned out to be the most dramatic and like type of story, okay? So picture this: Louisville, Kentucky, 2011. Anyway, y'all, so I used to go to this one church, and I'm not going to mention any like specific names of like people unless I don't think that it would be like confrontational. But anyway, so I went to this one church back home where it was very much like family based. A lot of people that I've known pretty much my entire life, and we used to have like this youth group, right? So we had a youth group where we would like get together, I think maybe like once a month, and do stuff. And a lot of times people would invite their friends to come to our youth group. So it wouldn't always be people who were members of the church, but people who were like friends and family of members of the church. So we had some people join us one time, and it just so happened that whatever it was we were doing for that like get together, we were gonna like be collaborating for something that was coming up. And so we kind of all had to like exchange numbers. And if y'all know me personally, I am not big on just like handing my number out. I've never been big on just handing my number out. I don't want to talk. I don't want to text. And then just, not just that, but I just don't like people. If I don't know you, I just don't want you to have my phone. I don't like people I don't really know like contacting me like that. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, we give each other our numbers or whatever, and it's supposed to be what I was told I had to do it for was for whatever we were gonna be doing. Like maybe it was like a youth day coming up. I don't remember, y'all. But anyway, we exchanged numbers with everyone, right? And at the time, there was this guy. For the sake of the story, we're gonna call him. We're gonna call him Michael. We're gonna call him Michael. So for the sake of the story, he's Michael. Anytime I say Mike or Michael, Mikey, just know I'm talking about Stalker Boy, okay? So we all give our phone numbers out, and Michael started to like flirt with me, but again, we were young. So I'm probably like, at this time, I'm probably like 16, maybe 16, because I actually graduated college, or no, I actually graduated high school at 17, like a month, or not even a month, like a week before my 18th birthday. So at this time I was like 16, okay? And I believe I was like a junior at the time. And at the same time, y'all, I was working. I had a job for like a couple years at this point, and I was working in one of the malls in Louisville at home. And I was working at a clothing store. I don't even know if I want to say the clothing store because I don't want anybody, I just don't want to say too much, but I want to tell y'all as much as I possibly can. So I was working at a clothing store. I started working there, I think I was like 15, And at this point, I'm 16, so I've been there for a little while, right? So this guy, boy, because I think he was actually like maybe a year or two younger than me. No, he was like a year younger than me. He was like a year younger than me. And he didn't go to my high school, but we had a lot of mutual friends because I had friends that went to his school. He had friends that went to my school. And, you know, we kind of all knew each other. So anyway, y'all, after we ended up exchanging our numbers at this little, like, youth group thing, then he just started randomly trying to text me, like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, chilling. That's pretty much it. Like, I wasn't really holding any conversation. Or I wasn't responding at all, right? So then I remember we had a conversation at one of our youth group meetings or whatever, and they were talking about people working, blah, blah, blah. And it came up that I worked in the mall, right? But I never told him which store I worked at, right? So keep in mind that this guy had a way of really seeking out for information. So I never told him which store I worked at. But one day, not long after, I'm in the mall and I'm at work and I see him just like walking by and kind of like peeping in all the stores. And when I first saw him, he didn't see me. So I see him just kind of like peeping in the store. He's like scanning through, you know, past all the little mannequins and stuff. And then I guess he didn't see me, so he kept going. Guy got a little bit closer to the window, and now I see him like scanning in the other window or other stores. And so it's almost as if like he's looking for somebody, right? So at first it didn't dawn on me that like he's looking for me because I don't communicate with him like that, right? And I hadn't. And so for him to be there looking for me, that's crazy, right? Crazy. So I go on about my business, and next thing you know, I'm like ringing a customer, and I'm like boom, 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 and I look up, and he's standing right there with a smile on his face, y'all, a whole smile, like he was supposed to be there, right? So I finish up with the customer. She leaves or whatever. My manager actually wasn't very far. She wasn't at the register with me, but she wasn't far. Actually, in the store that I used to work in, it was like where our cash register was, like right next to it was like a wall full of like jewelry, right? I think she was like restocking the jewelry or like fixing it or something, and I was actually behind the register. So he's just standing there like, and so I looked up and I was like, oh, hey, what's up? And he was like, oh, hey, how you doing? How you been doing? I haven't heard back from you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, you pulling up at my job because you haven't heard back? Mind you, y'all, we are 16. I'm 16. He's like 15, right? Why are you just pulling up at my job? And you don't drive, so I know you didn't catch the Turk all the way out here. And the Turk back home is the, like, bus, you know, it's public transportation, okay? So I'm like, I know, because he didn't live near me, right? So I'm like, I know you did not catch the Turk all the way over here just to figure out where I work, because I haven't responded. Like, that's crazy. And so then I was like, I said, yeah, you know, I just wasn't really in the talkative mood. And he was like, oh, okay, well, hope you've been good, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember everything he said, but he was just like, it was nice seeing you. And I was like, okay. Y'all, I couldn't lie. I wasn't trying to see you, bruh. Like, it wasn't like a nice seeing you too. I ain't ever been like, oh, it's so nice meeting you, so nice seeing you. If I didn't actually, you know, enjoy the interaction. If I didn't enjoy the interaction, I'm like, good day. Good day. And so, so he leaves, y'all. But he leaves, and my manager just so happened to come over, and she's like, who is that? And I was like, girl, because even though she was like older than me, we used to have a relationship where I could be like, girl, listen, okay? And so I was like, girl, this boy, I guess he calls himself like interested in me. I didn't want to say for sure like he liked me. At the time I couldn't tell like if he liked me or if he just needed a friend or wanted a friend. Like, I couldn't really tell because I didn't really know him like that. And I was like, so this guy got my phone number. I broke it down to her. You know, I told her how he got my number to begin with, how I met him to begin with. And I was like, and now he's just like popping up. Like, that's so weird. I said, and I saw him, you know, earlier looking through the different stores, like windows and like openings or whatever, doors. But I didn't know he was looking for me. And so then he leaves, y'all. And after that day, every single day he was at the mall. Literally every single day. And it got to a point to where every time I saw him, I was like, this boy is actually stalking me. Because he was standing outside. Okay, y'all know how malls are, right? How it's like floor to ceiling, like mirrors, or not mirrors, but glass or whatever. Like when you first walk into a store where like they might have mannequins or something in the storefront. So he would be like in the hallway of the mall, y'all, and like just kind of looking, but looking super suspicious, right? But he would just be like looking to see if I'm there. If he didn't see me, he would like leave, come back a few minutes later and just be like looking again. And at that point, I'm like, I'm going to the back. Every time I see him, I'm going to the back because I don't trust you, bro. I don't know you like that. You figured out which store I worked at and in the mall, and you've been up here ever since, and I never invited you to like come up here on my break or nothing like that. And you've just been up here unwanted and unwelcomed. And so I started going to the back every time. And so eventually, like after maybe like 2-3 weeks, my managers, because at this point she's fed up because you're not about to be stalking somebody. One of her employees on her watch is kind of how she you know was feeling. And so one day, like 2 or 3 weeks later, we see him come, and she was like, Kayla, go to the back. So I went to the back of the store, and he comes in and he was like, hi, is Kayla working today? And she was like, no. And if I see you in my store again, if I see you peeping in my store again and you're looking for her, you're going to have to deal with me. And she was like, I could call security, but security is not as bad as I am. So she was like, so I advise you to leave. And unless Kayla asks you to come here, do not step foot back in my store looking for her. And she gave him like the most serious face, y'all, and he looked spooked because I could see them from where I was. I was like peeping around the corner, but he couldn't see me, but I could see him. And so she tells him that, y'all, and it's like he just was like, okay, let me fall back. I thought that was the end of it, y'all. So then, because I didn't see him for like a few months. I'm like, oh, okay, whew, dodged that bullet, right? So then I go, now I'm a senior, right? I'm a senior in high school, and we are probably like almost like 6 or 7 months into us meeting and the whole mall situation thing happening, okay? Now I'm a senior in high school. I was on the cheerleading team as well as like other sports, but I was on the cheerleading team, which meant I had to travel, you know, with the football team, with the basketball team for games and such. So one time we played his school, right? And I'm like dreading, Lord Jesus, please, Lord Jesus, don't let me run into this boy at this game because I don't want to deal with him. But also at this time, y'all, I had a boyfriend, and I had kind of called him up to speed on the situation with Mikey. And so we go to play in basketball. We go to our schools played each other, but it was at his school, right? And we go, I see him from afar. I don't make eye contact. I'm just like zoned out, doing what I'm doing. And then he tries to come up and talk to me while I'm cheering. First of all, if you've ever cheered, or you know anyone that's ever cheered, or you know anything about any type of sport and any type of anything, you do not interrupt them while they're doing it. Because first off, That's rude. Secondly, you're going to get me in trouble and I don't even want to talk to you. And so he walked up and tried to start talking. I was like, I'm busy. Period. Pretty much. I'm busy. So he left. But the whole game, y'all, I could just feel these eyes just like staring me down, y'all. And I was like, because I'm the type of person, like, I can feel when somebody's looking at me, even if they're far across the room. And that aggravates me because I hate when people stare, right? So he's staring at me the whole time. And I'm just like, this is so uncomfortable. I can't wait to leave. And my ex-boyfriend, who was my boyfriend at the time, he was playing. Because he played basketball. And I remember just like telling him the situation and him getting frustrated because he couldn't really like pinpoint who it was because he was playing, you know what I'm saying? So it was a whole ordeal. Anyway, boom, that happens. Fast forward a few more months. I ain't seen him. I ain't heard from him. He ain't come to my job. None of that, okay? So I'm going to graduation at this point, right? So we in full on end of May, beginning of June, actually. My graduation was kind of late. So I go to my graduation, y'all. You know, it's a great day. And I'm taking pictures with all my family. All of my family that I invited there. I'm taking pictures for my graduation with my friends, with my boyfriend, with my family that I invited there. Y'all, why was this boy at my graduation? First of all, how did he figure out when my graduation was? He didn't go to my school, yo. Secondly, out of all the thousands of people that were there, how did you find me and my little entourage as soon as the ceremony was over? Y'all, this boy is in the background of so many of my graduation pictures. And I really want to show his face. But, well, I'll tell y'all in a minute. But anyway, so yeah, he comes to my graduation uninvited. Did not even really say anything to me. It was just like hanging out in the background, kind of watching like who I'm interacting with and whatnot, and being like, and like photobombing all of my pictures, y'all. Like it wasn't even like he was like, hey, I'm photobombing. Take bunny ears, you know, like he wasn't doing none of that kind of stuff. It was like he was like awkwardly trying to figure out where to position himself, and he just ended up in the background of so many of my pictures. Y'all, so at this point, I'm over it. I'm like, y'all, let's go. He's already, and the thing is, I kind of left this out, but a few times we already had a conversation like, hey, I'm just not interested. So he knows I'm not interested in him. He knows at this time I have a boyfriend. He knows that I don't want to talk to him, but he just keeps popping up, right? So then I go off to school, right? I go off to college. I'm like 3 hours away from home, and I never told him what school I was going to or anything because I was like, this boy will catch the bus 3 hours or something. Like, clearly he has no limits, right? So I'm at school, and you know, some time goes by. I never heard from him again. I never saw him again. And then I'm just like, you know, on Facebook, and I'm scrolling through my timeline, and I think this might have been, I can't say 100% because it feels like so long ago, but I want to say I might have been like a junior in college, like my junior year in college, I think. And I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I see a lot of people was like, dang, Mikey, dang, Mike, I didn't know, man. Dang, Mike, that's crazy, man. Like, wow. And then, what did happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? So I keep scrolling, and then I see a news article, like one of the bigger, you know, news channels in Louisville. His face, his mugshot. Michael so-and-so charged with murder first degree.
Oh my God.
Y'all, that boy, not only was he actually charged and convicted of murder, but that mugshot was so creepy. Oh my gosh, y'all, that mugshot was so creepy. And immediately my heart was just like, y'all, that was a whole convicted, alleged, I didn't say his name, so I ain't gotta say alleged, because anyway, y'all, it was scary because I'm like, this man, I knew he was crazy. I knew I got super creepy vibes, but I didn't think he was that crazy. And then after I saw all those posts, it was people that was like, yeah, I knew he was crazy because this, and that. And I was like, he was crazy with y'all too? It wasn't just me. It wasn't just me. So, bottom line, y'all, and I know that this is a long little story time, but it low-key like traumatized me because I was like, this man had my phone number. He knew where I worked. He knew the people that were closest to me. He'd been in my church. He had been in my school. He had been at my graduation, at my job. Y'all. And then I was like, thank you, Lord. Because I was protected for sure. Because had that man, or at the time, boy, he was very much a teenager, you know. Had that boy snapped with me because I just wasn't interested, who knows what could have happened. That's crazy. Y'all be careful out here because folks is crazy. And you might think, oh, he's obsessed with me, or oh, he's like stalking me, and you might get flattered from it. First off, I don't get flattered by that. Do not stalk me. If I don't invite you into my bubble, don't come in my bubble. But you gotta be careful out here, y'all, because people are actually real deal crazy. Real deal crazy. And that was an example of that. I had no idea he was gonna end up like that. But, you know, what do you do? What do you do? I was just thankful that I was able to remove myself from his, I wasn't even in his world. Y'all, he was forcing himself in mine. I don't know. I'm just glad I ain't never spoke to him again since my graduation time when he was just like, what's up? That was it. I ain't spoke to him since, and it's been 10 years, so. That's my story time for today. Comment down below if you've had a crazy situation with a stalker before. Let me know, like, was your stalker convicted too? Like, what's going on with people these days, y'all? I don't know, but comment down below, even if you just like this video, or if you have more story time ideas, or things you want me to talk about, leave it in the comment section. I'll see you guys back for the next video. Peace.